And so if I was like playing fantasy football with TV shows, those are my two picks. I would have crushed it as the producer. But anyway, love the show. You love the show.
Yep.
You did a little spin-off
Yep.
with everyone's favorite character, Saul Goodman, Better Call Saul. And you have a little experience with that.
Yeah. So, right as the pandemic was about to start, I head back home to Montana. It's a little bit involved story, but my brother's like, hey, listen, they moved the entire Yellowstone setup here, like the Kevin Costner one. And he's like, they're looking for a bunch of extras. If you're in town, you should see if you can do it. I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll do it, right? Why not? So I do it and then get called that night and end up shooting, which is hilarious. My scene didn't make it. Like, this is how Hollywood works, right? If you're going in as an extra, I mean, they paid me close to for 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not an extra. You're like a feature player. You're a day player.
Yeah, I think I got union rate.
That's amazing.
And so...
that's amazing.
Got there, did my thing, and of course, watch it almost 2 years later, and the scene that I should have been in was cut, right? But you can see me walk by a door for 10 seconds.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good paycheck.
It's a great paycheck for that. I was like, where do I get, is this how the Republicans work? No, we don't get political on this shit. So,
here's how political I get. Is it me, or does the Bernie Sanders sticker come standard on the Prius? If Al Gore dies of frostbite, is that irony or just hilarious?
Pretty sure Elon Musk just bought $3 billion worth of Bernie Sanders stock.
I don't know why he hasn't made a cologne brand yet, a fragrance. Elon Musk.
It'll shoot you to the moon. So I get my little Hollywood, and I've been on some things before, like I did an independent thing, and so I've been around cameras, whatnot. Not a big deal, but it's not like a regular thing, right? It was just a spur of the moment, can do it, great. So I did, hung out, got to meet Costner, got to meet a couple other people, Beth, and then was done, right? Got paid, and then out, and I was like, fuck, I don't even watch Yellowstone, and I just was on one of the most popular shows at that point, and I'm like, God, it'd be awesome if I could just
keep doing that.
I mean, fucking $10 for 2 hours? Come on, who doesn't do that? I mean, fucking, that's Will Arnett money. So, Bo Jackman aside,
BoJack Horseman? Bo Jackman. I think he was an athlete that blew out his knees. He was a two-sport guy.
That was
Bo Jackson.
Yeah. So, at that point in time, I'm like, how do I get on something that, I want to be on? I'm like, oh, I got it. There's at that point in time, I loved Ozarks, but Better Call Saul, and I'm working in New Mexico, and they're shooting New Mexico. So I'm like, seems like probably a good thing to try. And sure enough, I did the same thing I did with Yellowstone, and boom.
What do you mean? What would you send in your headshots? You audition? What happened?
I have a gay porn video that is by Jeff Stilts.
Camera adds 10 pounds. You know what they say about gay porn?
Don't do it once.
It's a pain in the ass, but it pays well.
That too. No. So no, I was like, sure, I'll just do it. And it wasn't exactly the same as Yellowstone, because Yellowstone, the producer called me back late that night. It was pretty cool. But the other one was pretty cool for elbow in the fucking door, asshole. So I'm like, okay, listen, I'm going to just do all that thing. And sure enough, the next day, the producer emails me. And she's like, hey, listen, we got your info. We'd really be interested in you coming down. And this is for the season y'all are about to see, right? They were filming the final season. Did the COVID test and stuff. So she's like, oh, yeah. She finally got back to me, and she's like, here's the info. I go down and get my COVID test. Of course, I was positive.
Oh, no.
Just kidding. I was negative.
Oh, nice.
So get the negative that I supplied myself. And they were like, hey, cool. Let's get you on set. So I ended up getting on set. And for the first, part of the day, right after breakfast, it was not much. I just hung out in a old, they were shooting the, crap, maybe.
No spoilers.
Yeah, I don't want to get sued by Sony.
Oh, yeah, you can't talk about it. Yeah,
I've
that's
been
true,
there,
too.
done that.
Yeah, you signed a
Top
release.
Gun 3.
NDA.
Yep. So I'm there shooting.
If you get in trouble, you better call Saul. Sorry.
And actually, there's a number for that. So I end up shooting with the main character, right? That is my
Wow.
entire day. Like, how fucking lucky is that, right?
That's amazing.
All for probably scenes that'll be 3 or 4 seconds, as I found out from Yellowstone, right? Like, they shoot so much and then they use fucking nothing.
Yeah, like Fincher shot like 60 takes of a small cookout scene in Mindhunter.
Right?
Yeah, it's like crazy.
Oh, Mindhunter, guys, watch that. Fucking
Mindhunter's
amazing.
Yeah, if you like
We need
serial
season
killers.
3.
And that's why they don't have it yet, because David Fincher takes
BTK.
63 takes to shoot 5 seconds of a cookout scene.
David, call me. I can fucking fix that for you.
Yeah, we
Call
got it.
Greg.
Cut. We got it.
That's
one
the
more
name of
time.
my service. Call Greg. So, anyways, get on there, and I'm like so excited, and then all of a sudden, nothing. Like just silence. Right? She's hey, good, you're good. We're gonna do this scene. She actually tells me, she's like, you're gonna be a cop, and you're gonna do some things. Like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then nothing, and I'm sitting there at one of my clients' meetings, right? Because I'm down there doing business, and I don't hear anything, and that's fine. I don't care when it comes. But then by dinner, right, almost 24 hours later, still nothing, and I'm like, what the fuck did
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, I guess I got cut or something like that. And so I happened to be rolling by a Walmart, and there was some fucking cops out there because that's what they do in Albuquerque, just roll up on the Walmart. And I walk by him, and I'm like, hey, guys, let me take a picture. So I turn around and I selfie with the cops. And
Like
so
you do. It's the last people I'm going near on purpose. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm in a Walmart. It's all good.
Yeah.
So
Everyday low prices.
right. Remind me, I'll show you that picture. So, and I sent it to the agent. I'm like, hey, listen, I'm just getting ready for my role, right? Just being a smart ass.
Right.
Like,
Okay, that makes sense then.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I haven't heard from her all fucking day. I'm like, dude, I'm ready, motherfucker. And so, nothing. Like, I hear nothing. And so I go, my final client dinner, hanging out, and I kind of tell them the story. They all know that I love Breaking Bad and stuff, and I've been to certain things in Albuquerque and seen certain people. But they're like, oh, that sucks. Like, you were like really, and I'm like, yeah, I got picked. Well, I get back to my hotel, and I'm sitting there, and it's not late. It's like 9 o'clock. And I'm like, yeah, kind of bummed. I went and had a beer at the top, roof deck. I get a fucking ring on my phone. I'm like, oh shit, that's my email. That's finally the agents get back to me. Maybe it's tomorrow instead of, the next day. And it's a fucking news emergency, right? It's like, fucking no shit. Same day I'm supposed to film, right?
Yeah.
Obviously did not. But it turns out Bob Odenkirk had a heart attack.
Oh my God.
It was that day.
I didn't know that. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was fucking insane. I'm looking at the news and I'm like, well, I guess I know why I didn't film today.
Wow.
And there was nothing, right? It took him like almost 24 hours. I mean, he was dead is what it ended up being, right? And they resurrected him on set. Thankfully, they had the doctor there, which, by the way, I can confirm when I finally did get back to Better Call Saul, and that's where the end of the story is going to go, right? I can confirm they have a health expert doctor on there, which is another
Oh, no,
story
you have
too.
to have that. Absolutely.
It's part of OSHA and all that stuff, right?
Which they don't have in the Star Wars universe. A lot of high platforms, not a lot of railings.
Oh, God. Are you my father?
So anyway, so he has the heart attack. Doctor on set brings him back to life. They get
But
him to the hospital.
we don't
Your day
find
of
that
shooting.
out to the next day, so I'm done, right? I'm not obviously shooting because they're not shooting anything, and they didn't. They shut down production for, I don't know, a week or 2 weeks. But come a month later, they start shooting some other stuff, and I'm down there again visiting, and I'm like, there's a shout out to the Breaking Bad store, the official Breaking Bad store in Albuquerque. Went down there, hung out with one of their employees that they all know. They've got actually a museum in back with all the props from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. And I was like talking to her, and she's like, "Oh, well, yeah, they've been shooting, but all the actors are hanging out over this brewery right next door." I'm like, "Oh, all right, cool. Well, fuck, if I'm not gonna be on it, can I get a guy? Yeah, can I go hang out?" She's like, "Oh yeah, just go." Sure enough, dude, fucking Lisa at the Breaking Bad store, you fucking hooked me up because they were all there, dude. I walk in and I'm looking at Mike, right?
Oh yeah, Ermintrout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And he's hanging out, having a beer, and then I'm fucking looking at Lalo. And you're going to get to Lalo. You haven't got to him. Greg is a little bit behind on the season.
Yeah, no spoilers.
There's no spoiler with that.
All right.
So and he's there. And then I'm with fucking Vic, the Ding Ding guy, right? Because he's there.
Oh yeah, the guy with the ding ding guy, Don Hector.
Yeah, I can't remember the actor's name. And they're literally drinking right next to me at this brewery. It's a big brewery it's kind of like Avanti, like they have open concept and they have all these restaurants, but then they have all centered around one brewery downstairs, and then they've got all like live music outside. And so I'm sitting there and I'm with one of my coworkers and I'm like, oh my fucking, and my coworker loves Breaking Bad and he's like, holy fucking shit. I'm like, yeah, she didn't lie to us.
Yeah, that's
they're
amazing.
all here.
Yeah,
right?
that's amazing. I would love that.
And so we somehow got the fucking balls up to go out and take some pictures with him. Not Lalo, and you'll understand why when you see Lalo. But we got pictures with Mike, right? And my fucking coworker, this is a funny story. My fucking coworker fucked it up. We went out there. I took great pictures on his camera for him, and his wife, and his whole family, and they were awesome. And then he went out with mine. He couldn't operate an Android, so he like was pressing pictures, and it was like his finger.
Can't you just like blink on an Android and it takes your pictures?
Right? Yeah, I'm not. It's a different.
Or you go like this.
It's a different Nance, but Brad Nance. Yeah,
Okay.
We're calling you out. Fake name. So
Yeah, Brad.
fucking Brad.
Press
And
the
so
button on a phone.
when I got back in, I'm like, oh, here's all your pictures of the, Jonathan Banks. And he's like, oh, those are great. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. They are. I took them. And he's like, and I look at my pictures and I'm like, it's fucking fingers and black.
He's got his blur the fingers over the lens.
I shit you not.
Oh, dude.
I shit you not. I made him go back out.
Oh, yeah? Oh, that's amazing.
And take pictures. And dude, Jonathan Banks was cool as fuck. The other guys were like, you fucking idiots.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? This guy didn't quite get the finger. And so that's a picture, but here's the funny thing about that picture. So I have a picture now with Jonathan Banks.
Oh, put it up with the episode.
Mike things. I'll show you. Right, sure. And so this is like 4 weeks after, unfortunately, Bob's Odenkirk's thing. And now they're kind of filming whatever. And so I go back home, and then 2 weeks later, it's kind of announced, well, he's back, right? They're going to start filming the last parts of it, and they were in the last half of the episodes anyways. Well, I sent a picture to the agent, or the lead casting agent of Breaking Bad. I'm like, hey, I know it's been a while. You're going to cast me as this when he unfortunately had a heart attack. Oh, sucks. And I'm like, but just so you know, I've kind of upgraded, and I sent the picture of me and Mike, right? And I'm like, and I'm such a dick. I'm like, I'm the guy on the right. She doesn't know Jonathan Banks, right? It's so different.
Nice.
And actually
persistent, dude.
I put it up on Reddit. I got a lot of good comments on that one.
Persistent, dude. This casting agent, like, that's a tough call to make. Like, it might be like, fuck
next
you,
day,
man, leave me alone.
Next day she hit me up and she's like, okay, well, hey, we got something we're filming, so come down for this. And of course, I had to kind of adjust it with my, work schedule, and it worked out fine. I got to film all day with Bob, and you'll see it in July.
2022.
Maybe the 25th of 2022. It could be episode 10. It could not be. And you're looking for the Cinnabon weirdo guy. I can't say more than that.
Okay, heard. We won't say more than that.
If I get you sued, my name's David Spade. All
right, so we've got a guy who's avoided death from a serial killer all the way to a Better Call Saul celebrity.
Yeah, it's been a long path. There's a couple of bumps in between.
What a strange path we followed.
It is a strange
Speaking of which, let's get some plugs in for you, buddy. Like, what is the name of the book?
The first book that Greg was referring to is The Strange Paths We All Follow by Chance Edric. You can find it on Amazon, GameStop, Big Lots.
The Five and Dime.
Safeway. It depends on the dollar section. But it's been out that long. So got that one going on. And then the sequel is...
Recklessly Absurd, right?
Yeah, right. So if you've listened to Greg's 41 episodes prior to this, you would probably be okay with reading my book, because it's the same fucking thing, right? It's the stories we all have that we forget sometimes, and then we don't forget, and then we bring up, and then friendships are tested, and fucking there's the devil. I don't know. Seth Rogen's there.
So Recklessly Absurd, we have a third book coming out.
Yes.
How far along are you with that?
I'm about a tenth of a way.
Okay, cool. But you started.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's blueprinted. It's got the ideas. It's just not ready. Listen, and so the listener knows, it took me, I tried to write my first book like almost 15 years ago. It just wasn't ready, right? I wasn't ready for it. It wasn't ready for me. things had to operate a little differently. And then when the first one came out, great, that was perfect. Second one, that was good too. It was forced a little bit, but that's the way we'll look at third. It'll be out when it's out.
When you're ready, yeah. And then you also have a podcast.
Yeah, well,
or you have a